Oh, hello, and welcome back to Diana Bananas. Today, we're in the kitchen, and we're specializing on a specific vegetable, yucca root. Don't know if you've heard of it, seen it. This is not yard waste. So everything that you see on this, we're going to make into one platter with yucca root being our starch. Now, if you saw my last video, you know how important starch is to your diet. So today's starch is featured yucca root, which is very much like a potato. It is high in potassium, vitamin C, magnesium, and protein. Let's get started. So with root, much like a potato, we're just going to peel this baby up and get rid of the sticker. So you can see it has a very tough shell, and in the center is a white husk color. It's the way you want it, because unlike a potato, the skin on the yucca root is actually considered poisonous for humans. So what you want is you just want the white fleshy color out. And the yucca root. Now it doesn't look like yard waste anymore, does it? Quick note though, whatever you're not going to eat, don't peel. You can just stick it back in the fridge. It'll last about 2 weeks. So this, now that we've peeled it, we're going to chop her up and get her oven ready. So I'm just going to kind of make it look almost like potato chips, or the same kind of shape, not too thick, not too thin, and I'll be happy to show you the result just to give you an idea. So in a way, it kind of looks like a potato chip, but it's thicker. It's not a banana, it's a yucca. Preheat the oven to 350. My oven defaults on 350. Came that way. So you're going to want to start to preheat the oven depending on what else you're putting in with your yucca. Finish cutting up the yucca. I know it looks like banana. It's the yucca root. All ready for the oven. Cook time. 45. All right. Let's do some chopping. Some onions. Now, certain vegetables are cooked. Certain vegetables are actually better for you raw, but there's a good chunk of them that are better for you when they're cooked. Obviously, potatoes, yucca root, and most of the starch family, you want to have that cooked. Onions and mushrooms also fall into that category. You want them on the cooked side or steamed. Depending on the weather and my mood is depending on whether I cook things, steam things, or eat it raw. Green leafy vegetables should all be eating raw. However, if you're still getting used to them, by all means, steam them. Oh, it's actually off camera. How interesting is that? So in my last segment, I was wearing different t-shirts, and I was actually asked by one of my faithful viewers if I made these shirts. And I assure you, I have a lot of quirky talents making t-shirts, not one of them. So just to give you a hint or show you, a huge fan, I would have to say Dr. McDougall is a hero of mine. This is the shirt I wore before I got to the starchitarian mess when I was talking about the tongue and different taste buds. So it's the food. I would love to get, Dr. Michael Clapper has one. It's saying it's the food. It's always been the food, which I'm 100% believer of that. Alright, so that's my first t-shirt that I started the video off at, and then I ended it with, of course, the starchitarian, because we are starchivores. Even though I'm slowly becoming a nutritarian, however, I think starchivores is where humans really fall in, and that's where we should be. And in my last video, I'm not going to repeat too much, but I promise, really gets into the science behind it. So starchivore, again, it's Dr. McDougall, who is like the hero of the plant-based world. Back to Yucca Root. I'm doing Yucca Root, and I should stick with that. But I just want to interject, mushrooms have such great anti-cancer fighting agents by collecting free radicals in your body. Highly recommend it. So almost every meal, actually I think every meal I know I eat does have a good helping of mushrooms. And if you hold out your thumb, just like this, and my hands are not huge, that's how many mushrooms you need to help fight cancer, reduce your risk. Back to chopping. So before I forget to mention it, a little history. I think history is the wrong word. A little backstory with Yucca Root. It's actually native to South America and to Africa. Not really to the United States. However, we do live in this wonderful world that we are able to get anything we want from any country. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, so I have a plate of different things ready to go with my Yucca Root. I have broccoli, some tempeh, mushrooms, and scallions, onions. Anyway, so my broccoli looks funky and you're wondering what that stuff is. I like to put turmeric, ginger, and ground pepper on my broccoli because that will help my body digest it. Turmeric is good for numerous things. One of them definitely being the arteries in the brain and reducing your risk of Alzheimer's or dementia as I grow older. So we're about 30 minutes, give or take less, for the Yucca Root. So what I'm going to do is add the broccoli right to the same pan. I am a one-pan girl, so if I make a pot of something, everything in that pot is for that meal. So when I do it in the oven, everything I'm doing in the oven is one pan, everything that will fit on that pan. Alright, so let's open up this oven and check out our yucca. So far, that's what our yucca looks like. Still kind of hard. Should have shown you. You will see it break up like that, and that's perfectly normal. So now, as you can see, all I really have on here is mushrooms and onions because they're not going to take a lot. They're not going to take a lot of time to cook. All right, let's get this bad boy back. I'm going to go back to chopping. Okay, so we're about 17 minutes left, and you can see the counter has changed dramatically. I chopped up a lot of those vegetables I have, and now I have on my plate that I'm about to add to my oven yellow squash, not to get confused with the yucca I have in the oven, green zucchini, more mushrooms and onions, and my kale, which just keeps randomly falling everywhere. All right, well, let's add this bad boy to our mix. All right, and right now our yucca kind of looks like this, which it's much more edible. As you can see, I'm just folding it up. You can actually even eat it now. At this point, the yucca is ready, but the veggies are not. So the yucca is ready, but the veggies that I cook with it are not. And for the most part, I'm just going to throw them right on top. And when this comes out of the oven, I actually even have more green to add, which I haven't finished. So we still have a couple minutes left for our Yucca Root to finish up with all my vegetables. And you saw the plate of food I have. Well, I didn't feel like it was going to be enough. I do like Yucca Root, but even if I did both Yucca Roots, it probably would not have been enough. So I made a bed for all my vegetables to sit on, including the Yucca Root and the broccoli and the squash and the zucchini. What I have here is a mixture of rice and barley that I actually had pre-made yesterday, and different leafy greens. I have spinach, arugula, watercress, kale, and bok choy, all chopped up and ready. So I have a nice bed for all my vegetables to sit right on, and as you'll see when I pull it out in a couple minutes, I actually did add some more color. I added tomatoes. Couldn't help myself. You'll see all the different colors when I pull this out. It's going to be ready very soon, like now. So I also added some lentils that I had pre-made, and this I'm going to stick onto a plate, and I'm going to make sure I show you the yucca root, which I currently do. So if you remember how hard the yucca was before, now this is hot, but it just breaks apart so easily, and or no, actually, that, my friend, is half a breakfast, and this is my yucca root. Thank you. And if you like what you see here today, click, share, subscribe, give me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me see what else you'd like me to cook. I'm real basic, I'll be honest. So something basic. I'd love comments. I'd love to have ideas. I'd like to do the research. I'm better at it. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel. And let me know if you like your yucca.